Guards, knights, squires, prepare for battle.
Good morning YouTube, I'm Squire and today I'm playing Oxygen Not Included. I've shuffled through all my duplicates today just to save any hassle, bothering going through all this. Just cover a few things for you, so a few negatives. We've got a narcoleptic, falls asleep anytime, any place, yokel, cannot perform research, and scaredy cat cannot perform combat. Combat's not a major-ish part of the game just yet, and only having one not performing research shouldn't impact me too much early on. I've found some great stats. So this one's kind of a general one, +2 in most things and +2 in learning, so actually learn everything else quicker, which is good. This guy, good digging and construction, which is great for starting off, and creativity for creating the art later when I'm dealing with the decor later. And this guy is insane amount of digging. He has +300% digging speed. So we should just blow the caves wide open, no problem. Just a quick thing I've worked out. So you've got level 2 architect, level 6 architect, and level 12 miner. And you've got the decor expectations. She's got creativity, which doesn't affect it as far as I'm aware, but level 5 is kind of the baseline. So if it was level 5 without interior decorator, it would be 0 expectation. She's level 2, 3 levels lower, it's -15, so -5 for each level. Now this guy is level 6 architect, so he gets a +5, so he's 5, and an interior decorator gives another +5, so it gives him a 10. So it's just something to bear in mind, but basically as you play the game, these guys are going to level up, their decor expectations are going to go up based on their level, and as that happens, their stress is going to go through the roof. Fortunately, all mine are destructive, so if I let the stress go through the roof, I'm going to end up with no equipment. You notice Skin Dread Tool and Mudvayne, old metal bands I used to like, or still like in some cases. If you're not aware, this is a game by Clay, the developers of Don't Starve, which is a particular favourite of mine. It was actually the first alpha game I ever actually bought. So here we have alert. Your crew has woken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got there. It might be best to start digging. So I think basically this is just a bit of filler story to get us into the... Well, it's alpha. It's just a bit of filler story. And that, just play, basically. Let's have a quick look around. So there's some water up here, water down here. I've played this a good few hours already. I've got a hang of it, watched a few videos, so I roughly know what I'm doing. But even then, it does generally tend to go tits up. I like to use the water mechanic, so if I cut a hole here, this would all flow into this room. So I'll exploit that, so basically I'd build around to get the water to flow into one big system and use stuff down. But generally I end up with a water supply that is lower than the rest of my base. If anyone starts vomiting or making a mess, it ends up contaminating my water supply. It all goes sour pretty quick. So this time I'm going to aim for a higher water area. Let's see, there's plenty of oxygen in there, a few resources. So I want to focus on... I normally try and do like a couple of rooms on top of each other and make it a self-sustaining system, but it kind of works, but it also kind of quickly goes to pot. Let's get some digging done. Where am I going to dig next? Let's have a look at the overlay. So this is the oxygen overlay. You can see this is not breathable, it's carbon dioxide predominantly. Here we've got some oxygen, breathable gas, more oxygen. So like the very breathable is a high density of oxygen, and like when you start getting yellow, it's just so much in there that it's just not breathable at all. Well, so that's unbreathable. And if it was yellow, it would be a very dense carbon dioxide or chlorine, basically. You can see the water's there. So we'll use this as our initial water supply. So I want to dig out. I'm going to try a 2-layer structure. So we'll go It's still quite slow, so I think there's a bit of speed balancing issues that still need to be worked out with this game. Because that normal speed is quite dum. Just take your time, guys, it's fine. Look at the difference in Mudvane's digging skills. So he's my plus 12 in digging. Let's bring this down here. So we'll just go straight across. I'll have a. So what I do with my structure idea is have a central column, so we can have gases flowing down. One of the most plentiful resources in this game is sandstone, and you can basically build most things out of it. There's certain structures where you can actually select what you... So we only have sandstone at the moment, so I can only select sandstone. But later on, if I have granite, I could select granite to build with instead. I don't think it actually has any visual or mechanical impact at the moment. So we'll have a doorway here, and this will be the top floor. A couple of things we need to get prioritised, so... Don't want to dig this out as far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dig. I just flick through all these. Basically, your basic tips you'll get through the game. Most of it makes sense. For an alpha, there's a fair bit of tooltips going on, which is always handy. Some alphas you just get thrown at the deep end and expected to work out how to operate the game, basically. But this is not too bad. That's it, move out of the way. In previous builds, I've basically had a duplicate stood in the wrong place when someone built a concrete block on top of their head. And then had to deconstruct everything to be able to get them out again, which is less than ideal. You do have to be careful sometimes when building, because, for example, if I started building out across a chasm, like say here, you could end up with a situation where the duplicate falls down to build the underside of a platform, and then another duplicate builds on top, and in doing so traps him down here. In which case you will then have to build his way out, or deconstruct his way out. Which is neither is ideal. But first end of the day, they've all gone to their respective beds, apart from skin trade. Oh, just had a narcoleptic sleep. Yep. So next thing we need to focus on is getting some food production, which I can do quick and easy. Well, I actually need some power first. So once I get this dug out, this will be my power level for now. Not ideal. This should, so ordinarily I would have the power on a lower level, but if I just wait around for building stuff, it's how everything goes wrong, basically. You need to live now. You can't just expect them to hold out until you get your whole lovely base built. It's just not going to work. They've expanded a bit too fast, really. A lot of people tell you that. Because I've got all this area to fill with oxygen now. I do have some oxalite, which generates oxygen. Should help for the time being. It's just like the this is basically the little newbie buffer. Like, yeah, you're new, we'll give you some free oxygen, but once this is gone, you better be producing your own. Now I've got power, I can build micro musher. So basically the micro musher takes water and soil and produces food. We've got all these resources scattered around. Notice we're digging out. So you've got some copper ore, coal, sand, sandstone, dirt, oxalate mentioned earlier that will consume itself over time. Algae is used in water and oxygen production. You get some exotic stuff over here. We've got gold amalgam, obsidian, granite, slime. The slime can be processed into algae and dirty water, which again will be useful later on. I see the oxalate is slowly consuming itself, and as it does, I'm just going to build the base underneath it. Oops, and I have nothing to do. Right, so we have water access. Sand. What else do I need? Oh, oxygen. Yes, I need some oxygen. Let's start building this bit up. Harvest this. Just press the D key there, which is harvest. X, deconstruct. Just do that. G for dig. Dig a 3-wide tunnel down here. Seems a bit random. This is basically going to be C for cancel. It's that one. So you don't accidentally deconstruct anything. I do need to dig that out. You see the oxygen, all the carbon dioxide is here, so it's all falling. Basically this will all gather up unless we process it. Ooh, I put that a bit low. Yeah, that's fine, I'll leave that. I'm not going to have any floors up there just yet. So it's going to be alpha base. Research station, there's some more stuff later on. Yeah, so once I build this out, I build this, I have a nice well for all the carbon dioxide to fall down. The reason I maybe think of research is you can get some mechanised airlocks, which will allow me to seal this off if need be. So for the time being, I'll allow the carbon dioxide to fall down there, but later on I'll build a carbon dioxide processing facility just here and put in some gas breathable tiles so the carbon dioxide can fall into there, be processed. Rinse and repeat. Get some oxygen production going. Yeah, so basically I could seal this into its own independent room. Put a mechanised airlock there. All this gas will stay within this area. And what I generally aim for is oxygen production on the top left and the carbon dioxide to be filtered out on the bottom right. So you get kind of a flow going, which is why I normally have the beds upstairs, because you get oxygen all here, and all carbon just automatically comes down. And we put a few breathable tiles in as well, just to allow a bit of space. So I've got carbon dioxide dropping down here. Because I've got this here, it's less likely to be an issue now. Got sweep, which is K. We do that, and go fetch all that stuff. Or at least this should do. Oh, there we are. And you can set the priorities here, so I go for 7. Sweep. And when that's done, I'm going to seal that off so we're not producing oxygen whilst we're waiting for the research into mechanised doors. Mechanised airlock, gas piping. Yeah, I've just got a carbon dump at the moment, so I don't really need too much in that aspect, so we'll go for that. Which does mean we're going to need a supercomputer later on, which will fit there. Yes, thank God. Let's do it 4 high then. Got toilet. Yeah, bed's fine. Oh, yeah. This algae deoxidizer will actually need some power. This converts algae into oxygen, becomes idle when the room enters maximum air pressure, breathe easily knowing you've crushed a bunch of helpless algae into oblivion. Yeah, so it consumes the algae. So you've got algae knocking about here, and there's later ways of producing it. See, insufficient oxygen generation. The oxalate's all gone, and this is yet in production. There's two issues here. Let's do 6, make sure you go. So if you put priorities on a containment function, it will if you change the priorities on a structure, for example on this research station, I've not actually got anything going yet, so we'll get that going. If I put it to 9, they'll prioritise that over anything else not set to 9. But we don't want that. I'll leave it at 5, that's fine. I can do that when I get around to it. Same with that one, but I do want the ration box to be nice and full, so it's just a 6, so it is above everything else at the moment. See, we did have some lovely, what do they call them? Mush bars sat on the floor. Now they're in the ration box. Because they increased the priority to 6, so they're more inclined to make sure that goes into there, like that. Oh, new duplicate. Do normally do that, but the quick and easy way is doing that. Oh. I'm only going to take duplicates that I really want and are really good. Because the more you have, the more resources it takes to support them. So this guy, amazing tinkering speed, but he's level 11, his decor expectation is 30 already, and he's only going to level up as he's in the base. Level 7 runner, so his decor expectations are a bit lower. Basically, if I have no decorations and they have high decor expectations, they're going to get stressed out really quickly. Twinkle Toes and Early Birds, both fantastic, plus 7 to athletics, and first thing in the morning gets plus 2 to all his skills. So his athletics is 9 first thing in the morning. And he can't cook, but he's only got athletics and construction. Really good in those two. I want more generalised. So this one will be alright. She's got gastrophobia, so she can't cook. Can't dig it, so she can't dig. She'll be good at operating machines and doing medicine. She's got diver's lungs, so she consumes less air. So she's very tempting, but no. I'm just going to reject all for now. Run, 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 run. One skin dread. So yeah, as you can see, not much is happening at the moment. It's primarily because we've only got 3 duplicates. So they're trying to do 50 tasks each. This is where an extra duplicate would come in handy. But at this point, it's a bit early on in the game. I don't really have the resources to support another one. Or the space. Well, I could put another cot there. There'll be more stress in the outhouse that we need changing more often. There'll be more carbon dioxide being produced and more oxygen consumed. I need more food production going on. Got plenty at the moment, but it soon goes down if we don't attend to it. So basically, I'm going to shut up and get a chunk of this base done and speak to you later. So, I've had the first stage of the research completed. You see on here, I've got the gas piping. And next we're going to go for the pressure management. You see you've got 2, there's green research and then there's blue research, or purple research, whatever colour that's meant to be. So the science station does green research, the science station does green research, and the supercomputer does the other kind. So we need both, and we'll need some power on it as well, so I'll plug that in. So I'll get that built, with the gas filtration, gas piping, it gave me these gas permeable tiles. So what these do is will allow carbon dioxide. Oh no, just missed. So gases can fall through there. So carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so it will naturally fall down. So we want the carbon dioxide over here, and we'll be processing it later on. So we've got 2 up here to allow further dropping. So it's waiting some copper ore. There we go. And then 3 here, because this room will be sealed off with some more gas permeable tiles. And then we'll have some algae terraniums in here that will process the carbon dioxide for the time being until we get the CO2 scrubbers later on. We've got another duplicate opportunity. Nothing spectacular. Creativity is handy. Learning is good for research. I'm doing a bit of research and I can't build though. Iron gut, quick learner, and medicine. I'm going to have to say no to all of you again. I'll continue on. Oh, so this needs to start researching. It's a little bulky this, I'm not 100% a fan of this bit. It's like you select the type of research, but there's only one type of research to select. Maybe there's just going to be more in the future. Then you select continuous, and it just researches it until you've got the whatever your target is. So it won't actually research outside of, so once it hits 10, that's it, they won't use it anymore. It's not like you'll build up a stockpile of blue research and then as soon as you move on to the next one, whatever you've already researched is consumed on it. You have to have like a target focus. It's nearly done on the blue research. And the other aspect is I can only just target 1, so I've got 13 out of 20 of the green research. I've just started on the supercomputer, I'm going to need 10 of that. That's going to take a while, so I'm probably going to finish that before that gets halfway through. But I can't then use that science station to research the farming tech, which would be helpful. But I suppose they want to maybe keep that element of difficulty in the game. So I've disabled the micro musher. They've got 33,000 calories. They don't need any just yet, and it frees up the food producer to further mine out. Got some pretty good oxygen going on here. Oxygen generator's running nicely. I have to dig out all this to get some more algae. It's got this producing, so what I'm going to do here is stick 2 gas permeable there. Dug out this bit as well, so the idea is that this is going to act as basically the sewer system. So any foul water will drop down here. I'll seal this off later on. So any bad water comes down here, gathers here. We have a pump station here, we can pump out the bad water, filter it and put it back into the water supply. It's a little long-winded, but it leaves it a lot more open. So let's see. Some contaminated water there. There's probably some more up here than there normally is. But as I progress up, I could basically allow the contaminated water just to fall into this. It'll come down, run across here, hit my pump, and be put into contaminated water, just automatically put into my water system. So I'm planning ahead for like 10 videos from now, basically. Although there's not really much need. So I'll research. See, I've completed my green research. So that could now be researching this, but it won't let me. If I select that, that stops researching. It's going to focus on that now. If I go on that, 30,000 calories, that's fine. So I've actually knocked the priority right down on this, so it's 4. So I'd rather that be built than this first. I don't like. Just bring this up a little bit, just to give it a bit of a well going on. Yeah, that'll do, we'll do. It's starting to gather up a bit, build up a bit here. And I've got to wait for my pressure management to finish researching before I can get the farming tech, which will give me the algae terranium. So this one algae deoxidizer is producing oxygen to this entire area. Once I get my airlock doors, I'll seal off here and here. This one is producing oxygen for this bit, although it will filter down here. Because I've got the oxygen being produced here and carbon dioxide is more likely to be gathering here, should in theory allow for a more equal balance of oxygen. So the frames is a bit. So this is just how much wattage batteries should use before reactivating this generator. So I'll put that to 75%, or 80%, I'll do that. So when the batteries get down to 20%, we'll run on the hamster wheel until we get back up, and then I'll let it run down again. In theory. So it's going to run till they're full, I think. I'm out of algae again, great. Yeah, see they're full. My research is complete. Start work on new. Move back down to 5. And get my mechanized doors. Oh! I've got the wrong ones. That's what I was going for, manual airlock. Whoops, a daisy. Oh well, the mechanized doors actually function as manual airlocks when they don't have power. So, I've got that working on, yeah. I'll leave them on power for the time being. 31,000 calories, that should be fine. 326. 317, that's fine. So, research center idle. Yeah, pressure management. Because I'm only doing the first tier of research. That's all I needed. So with that, completion, bam. We now have a sealed room. And with that, I shall end the video, and I shall see you for the next one. Goodbye!